audible, friends?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, friends. Welcome to this evening lecture on political ideology series. Friends, today we are going to talk about a very interesting theme titled like this: Liberal Society, the Fundamentals. Friends, liberalism is an ideology of the West. West means not simply a geographical location, but rather it refers to societies upholding certain patterns of value systems. From that point of view, friends, liberalism is a value system in the West. So liberal value system is deeply permeated in the political, economic, and cultural life of people in the West. People in the West means not simply some people living in the Western hemisphere, but we can say that in India there are people who upholds liberal values or values of the West. So you have to understand this idea from that perspective, that there are people who lives in India who also upholds liberal values. So that means, it doesn't matter where you are born or where you are living. The point is that liberalism is a value system of the West. So that's not simply a geographical connotation. Rather, that refers to a value system of people living in with a certain perspective about how to live in this world. So this value system, liberal value system, is permeated in the political, economic, and cultural life of people living in the West. So that means it is very difficult to distinguish liberalism from Western civilization. When we think about Western civilization, we have to also put in place a liberal society. Liberal society to put in place the idea of a Western civilization. Am I audible, friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So friends, this liberal value system, as I told you, is a feature of people living in the Western civilization. And that means in the West, people are liberal. In the West, people are liberal means In almost all aspects of life, people prefers liberal attitudes. In almost all aspects of life, people prefers what I said, the so-called liberal attitude. That means, be it marriage, be it job, be it employment, relationship, or relationship between children and parents, or education system, no matter what. A liberal attitude prevails in almost all aspects of life. That means liberalism is a particular vision of society. And that vision is closely linked with a very important idea, that it's a particular vision of society. You have to construct your society based on certain value premises. That is called vision. This society should look like this. And when you say this society should look like this, that vision is connected with, friends, a very important idea. And you all know that. It is called personal autonomy. Friends, after all, we are being treated in a very liberal society from the perspective of a founding idea. In all the liberal society, we are treated with a particular kind of worldview. What is that? That is, we all have a foundational liberty. A foundational liberty. What is that? That means we have certain rights, certain liberty even before we are born. That is called founding notions of liberty, or otherwise called natural rights theory. And friends, a liberal society is based on this idea. And friends, this idea during the 20th century became a morally neutral concept. In 20th century, this idea became a morally neutral concept. That is, liberal idea gives priority to notions of right. Liberal idea gives priority to notions of right over notions of the common good. It's very important, friends. In all the liberal society, the notion of right is more important than the notion of the common good. That's why it is said that it is a morally neutral idea. It establishes a society. Liberalism establishes a society where people can pursue good life. Very important point. Liberal society means you have to establish a society where you can pursue good life. You can pursue good life. And friends, the most important thing is that what is that good life is not defined by some other forces or some other agencies. What is good life is defined not by the society or not by the government, not by family, not by a religion or any other agency other than the individual. So friends, that's important point. What is that? You can lead a good life. And what is good life is defined by the individual himself. That means, friends, by saying that you can define what is good life, when liberals say this, friends, there is immense possibilities of interpretations to good life in a liberal society. You can live the life you want to live. Nobody can interfere in that. That means, friends, here you can see liberalism is becoming a meta ideology. It is becoming a meta ideology. What is meant by meta ideology? Meta ideology is the view that it's a body of rules. It's a body of rules that lays down the grounds on which political and ideological debates can take place. That means this is not simply a particular way of interpretation. Rather, you can go for debating what it is. So you said, I want to live this life. And your neighbor said, he want to live that life. And everybody in the society is saying that they want to live a life which according to them is the best. But if you go to Christianity, it is not possible. If you go to Islam, it is not possible. If you go to Judaism, friends, it is not possible. If you go to communism, if you go to socialism, if you go to Gandhism, it is not possible. Why? Because they will give you a particular way of world in which you have to conform to their interpretations of the world. But in liberalism, friends, all the individual are free to choose the life which one wants to lead. That is why I told you liberalism is a meta ideology. The individual is free to the extreme. Friends, that's why as a meta ideology, liberal society is based on certain founding assumptions, which we call the fundamentals. Every liberal society is based on certain fundamental assumptions. So we have to understand what are these fundamental assumptions which forms a liberal society. Certain values, certain beliefs make up a liberal society. And there is no agreed definitions of what are these values. There is no consensus on what are these values. That's why last class I told you that there is no consensus on what exactly liberalism is. That's why people say that liberalism itself is contradicting. On the one side, some liberals argue that there should not be state interference. But on the other side, some people argue that there should be some kind of state interference in order to promote the potential of people who are otherwise not able to make a good life. So what are these values that make up a liberal society? What are the values that make up a liberal society? And we have to think whether we are enjoying all these liberal values. After the lecture, you have to think. You have to make introspection. You have to look into yourself. You have to look into your life and think and ask yourself, am I enjoying all these values in my personal life, in my society, in my surrounding, whether I am enjoying any of these value, not all these value, any of these value. You just imagine, think about, friends. Friends, I am pointing out the important values being upheld supreme by a liberal society. First point, individualism. Individualism. Second point, freedom. Third point, reason. Fourth point, justice. Fifth point, toleration. Sixth point, a liberal state. Liberal state. Seventh point, constitutionalism. Constitutionalism. Eighth point, a liberal democracy. A liberal democracy. Friends, these are the important value premises upon which an individual is living in a liberal society. And how to understand these value premises? These are not concrete definitions, friends. These are certain value premises, and liberals think about what is individualism, what is freedom, what is reason, and there is no agreed definition on any of this. So there are immense possibilities of interpretations of all these values in a liberal society. They are not fixed. But friends, if you go to a Marxist society, if you go to a communist society, if you go to a feminist society, all the people, all the ideologies are fixed on their premises, fixed on their values. Feminists, they argue that the world is ruled by men, and they never compromise on this argument. And Marxism, the world is based on class interest, and Marxists will never compromise on that fundamental and founding argument. But friends, when it comes to liberalism, then are not fixed on any of these value premises. And first point, individualism. What is individualism? Let us think about what is individualism. So liberal society is an individualist society. A liberal society is an individualist society. And friends, let us ponder over what is meant by an individualist society. And you see, we know that, friends, in the feudal period, in the feudal world, or in a society where privileges are the basis of power, where privileges are the basis of power, we can say like that, not simply feudalism. In any society where privileges are the basis of authority and power, the notion of individual has no any value. The notion of individual has no any intrinsic value. Man in the street is not respected. And in a society, particularly what we may call a feudal society, where religion dominate, where superstition dominate, where God dominate, where aristocracy dominate, friends, such a society, individual is not seen as a person possessing personal and unique identity. Clear? You are not seen as a person. You are not seen as a person, put in double inverted comma. You are no more treated as a person. And you think in your family, you are not viewed as a person. Why? Because you are viewed as a child. But in liberal society, you are not viewed as a child. You are viewed as a person. In every liberal society, no matter where you are born, what your age is, doesn't matter. In the perspective of law, in a liberal society, even if you are under the help of your parents, you are viewed as the person. But in your family, you are, for your parents, you are always their child. That is your identity. But if you go to Americas, you will never see the notion of child in that sense. Child is a legal person. In USA, where you got plenty of rights, so many rights, and the child can, the so-called child, that is in our society, that child, in USA, that individual can sue his or her parents in the law courts for the reason that the parents are not treating the child fairly, the parents are not caring the child. This way, you can bring your parents to the law court, because individual is a supreme entity in a Western liberal society. But in our society, for example, we are no more treated as a person. Rather, our society is still feudal, where you are treated with your identity first. You are not treated with the notion of the so-called person, a legal persona. You got a legal persona. The legal persona is very important in liberal society. But in our society, the legal persona is not that valued. A wife is always a wife. A husband is always a husband. A child, a daughter, a son, an in-law, an aunt, the grandpa, father, mother. These identities are very important. There is no legal persona being attached to the individuals. So friends, in such feudal society, or where society where privileges provide, your identity always belong to a group. Your identity always belong to a group, not to yourself. That means, first, your identity. Somebody say, oh, that girl is walking on the street. Look at that girl. I think that girl belongs to that family. So, notion of family is very important in defining your individual identity in our society. In Western society, that family is not that important. The legal persona is important. Village, local community, or your religious affiliation, your class position, these all define your individual identity. So your lives or your life and your identity are largely determined not by your character, but by the character of the identity towards which you belong. That's why once Martin Luther King famously said in a speech in the United States of America in the 50s, I think, I have to live in an America where my children are defined by the content of their character. Friends, the content of that character is very important. The content of your character is very important. Do you have a content in your character as a student of political science? Do you have a content in your character? Or are you simply affiliated to certain political parties, certain family affiliation, certain ideologies, certain religious ideologies, certain community beliefs? So, are you having a content in your character, or the content of your character is defined by the identity towards which you belong? Friends, this notion is intrinsic to a liberal society where individual ruled the world. Friends, this notion was so much intrinsic to liberal society, that is individualism, is so much intrinsic to every liberal society where they destroy feudal privileges. They destroy feudal privileges. And that's why I told you, you have to make self introspection. You have to look into yourself whether you are enjoying, as a legal persona, any of these value premises I am going to tell you. And one of the very important value premises I'm telling you is that individualism. Are you a legal persona? Friends, feudalism is destroyed by individualism. Feudal privileges are destroyed by individualism. In a liberal society, a wife is no more considered as a property of the husband. A wife is treated as a legal persona. That's just a contract. Husband and wife is a contract. Father and the son is a contract. Mother and the son is a contract. So from that perspective, individual is the center of attention in liberal society. So you have a broad range of choices, a broad premises in which you will enjoy a plethora of, or an unending catalog of choices. So for that matter, friends, in the old world or in the feudal society, for example, a serf, a serf, whose family may have always lived and worked on the same piece of land. And the serf living for years in a piece of land is freed when individualism became the basis of social organization. The serf became a free man because he had acquired certain abilities to choose the work he wanted to do. Before that, he was placed in a particular piece of land in the Europe during medieval period. A serf was placed in a particular piece of land where he had no choice. He had to till in the land of the landlord. Now the society changed. The serf became a free man. He got certain opportunities. So liberalism or individualism has broken feudal privileges. A new intellectual climate is created. A new intellectual climate is created. Rational and scientific explanations to world, rational explanation or scientific explanations to the world gradually displaced traditional religious theories. Liberated the human individual. Individual is thought to possess you, all the people who Audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ready, ready. Okay, okay. What did I tell you? Last point. What is the last point? I missed the point. What is it?
Individual is taught to.
Individual is okay. Individual is thought to possess uh, certain personal and distinctive qualities, and each quality is of special value. And friends, this notion was developed in the 17th and 18th century. And Immanuel Kant, for example, believed that man is born with a certain inherent dignity. Man is born with a certain inherent dignity. Man is born with a certain inherent dignity. Am I audible, friends?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And friends, on the one side, individualism argue that each individual is unique. Each individual is unique. Individuals argue that each individual is unique in the society, in the world. An individual is primarily defined by the inner qualities. An individual is primarily defined by the inner qualities. That's why Martin Luther King famously said, I want to live in an America where my children are defined by the content of their character, not the color, not the class, not the privileges, but the content of the character should define their person. So, individuals are defined by the inner qualities. And at the same time, an individual share the same status with other individuals. It's a beautiful notion, friends. That is, you have certain inherent qualities. You got a content in the character, and you share that content in the character with other people in your society. It's a beautiful notion of a society. Friends, such a view is otherwise called atomistic conception of society. It is otherwise called atomistic conception of society. And people always criticize liberals for the reason that they create a society of atomistic individuals. That is, it's atomism means that society is made up of a collection of self-interested, self-sufficient individuals or atoms. An individual is viewed as atom. And when so many atoms are put together, the society is made. That means the society, that larger collective, is because there are atoms called individual. A belief that a society is made up of a collection of self-interested and largely self-sufficient individuals, atoms. So society, friends, individualists argue that it's a very important point in individualism. Society does not exist. There is no society. Society is dead. Society is inimical to personhood. Society is an enemy. It's a beautiful notion. Society does not exist at all. What is society? There is no thing called society in the world. Rather, if there is what may be called a society exists, it is nothing but a collection of self-sufficient individuals. That's why, friends, the famous writer C.B. Macpherson a famous writer, C.B. Macpherson, defined liberalism as possessive individualism. That's why he defined early liberalism right from the time of John Locke. That type of liberalism was characterized by possessive individualism. That means, possessive individualism means an individual is the proprietor of his own person. An individual is a proprietor of his own person or capacities, owing nothing to society for them. Look, what is possessive individualism? That is, you are your own proprietor. You can do whatever you wish to do, and you have capacity which is created by yourself, and you owe nothing to the society, and you have no responsibility towards the society. You have no responsibility towards the society. And society, what is it? That doesn't exist. That's an enemy. And liberals, friends, held a more optimistic view of human nature. They held an optimistic view of human nature in the sense that individual is prepared to believe that his egoism is tempered by a sense of social responsibility. That your egoism is tempered by a sense of social responsibility. Of course, you are always a person looking into yourself, not outward. You are not outward looking individual. You never look upon other people. Rather, you will look upon yourself. So you have an inherent egoism. You are a self-centered, inward looking, egoistic creature. But your egoism in a sense is created by a social responsibility. But we don't know whether it is correct, because in a liberal society, human nature is always defined by a self-centered individual. They will never look upon other people. But no matter what it is, friends, it is the point you have to keep in mind that a liberal society is a society of atomistic individuals. So this is called individualism. No society. An individual is the master of his own life. You will define your life, not the state, not the society, not the family, not the religion, nor the parents. You have to define your life. So in such a society, right from the time a child is born, they got enormous rights and liberties. So such a notion is called individualism. Friends, that is the point clear for you? Individualism?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And next point, but I think I don't have time, right? There are so many points: freedom, reason, justice, toleration. So you have to go to class, English class, right, friends? Am I correct? Can I continue freedom discussion? Or you want a discussion? Friends? ഏതാ വേണ്ടത് ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്? കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യണോ അതോ?
കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യാൻ തോന്നുന്നു.
But you want to go to English class? Priyanka mom is waiting, right, friends? Nandana? Freedom.
ഉണ്ടോ നോക്കിയിട്ടാണ് സർ.
Okay. Can you check it? Otherwise, I can go to freedom. Shall I go to freedom point, friends?
ഓക്കെ സർ.
Okay, friends, continue the discussion. A second value premise of liberal society is freedom. So, friends, what is freedom? Friends, a liberal society is committed to and naturally committed to individual freedom. And liberals generally they does not distinguish between liberty and freedom. For them the word is used interchangeably in a general sense, but later theoreticians tried to attribute certain distinct meaning to liberty and freedom. But in our discussion, freedom and liberty hold the same meaning. And in freedom is a supreme political value. Freedom is a supreme political value in society. I mean, in liberal society. It's a unifying principle of liberal ideology. A unifying principle within liberal ideology. That means the principle of freedom connect with all other value premises of liberal society. For the early liberals, you might remember, argue that we have a natural right. Liberals believe that individuals have the opportunity to pursue his or her own interest. You have your own choice, such as where I want to live, what education I need, what to buy, what to eat, what to dress, so on and so forth. An individual has freedom. And liberals later consider that liberty is a condition. Liberty is a condition in which people develop their skills and talents. It's a condition in which people develop their skills and talents. But friends, liberalism do not accept that individuals have absolute entitlement to freedom. You will not have absolute freedom. That means liberty should not become a license. That is, you should not use your liberty to abuse others. This was being proposed by J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill, in his famous book On Liberty, written in 1859. 1859, On Liberty. Friends, he had famously said, John Stuart Mill famously said, the only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised, over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. And Mill calls this harm principle. That you cannot force an individual no matter what. And the only condition in which a society can use force against an individual is such a scenario in which an individual is going to harm other people. Only such a scenario, society can use force against that individual. And Mill calls this the harm principle. Harm principle is the only condition upon which a society can legitimately force an individual. That is, friends, is simply, it's a sort of a libertarian argument. Mill was proposing a type of libertarian argument. That is, he accept only most minimal restriction on individual freedom. Most minimal restriction on individual freedom. That is possible, only possible in a liberal society. Most minimal restriction on individual freedom. And a liberal society is looking how to save individual from restriction, how to save individual from censorship. For example, friends, you just imagine a situation, a scenario. Mill did not accept, J.S. Mill did not accept any restriction on an individual that are designed to prevent a person from damaging himself or herself, either physically or morally. Mill did not accept any restriction on the individual that are designed to prevent a person from damaging himself or herself, either physically or morally. That point is very important, friends. Your government is saying that while driving your car, you should use seat belt. Friends, how many of you agree that it is a direct encroachment upon your personal liberty? Friends, how many of you agree that government is arguing that you should wear seat belt while driving the car, or you should use a crash helmet while you are riding a two-wheeler? Friends, I am saying that this is a direct example of government encroachment upon personal liberty, and this is what J.S. Mill also saying. So by saying that an individual may likely bring damage to his or her life, so the government is going to prevent the individual by saying that you should wear seat belt, or you should use or wear crash helmet while riding a bike, is basically an instance of government abusing individual liberty. It is not acceptable. The government is interfering in your personal liberty. After all, your body is yours, your life is yours, and you are its sole custodian. Compelling you wear seatbelt, compelling you wear crash helmet, it is against personal freedom. Mill equate this scenario with another scenario, that is censorship. Government is censoring the individual by saying that you should not read this book, you should not watch that movie, because that will pollute your mind. It is an analogous situation. When a government is banning a book, when government is banning a movie, it is in a sense preventing an individual from being exposed to a particular kind of worldview. That is against humanity. In the similar way, Mill is making an analogous situation by using a condition in which government is forcing the individual to wear the crash helmet while riding the two-wheeler, or while driving the car you are supposed to wear seat belt, is similar scenario of government banning a book or a movie. The cases are similar. It's an encroachment upon personal liberty, because the government is a government only if it promotes personal liberty. So friends, but there is another side, that an individual, of course, is the sovereign over his or her body. An individual is sovereign over his or her body and mind. and mind. That is, government nowhere can ban you, ban a book or a movie or a drama or an art, because when the government is banning expression, it is encroaching upon the mind. Government is encroaching upon the mind. That government is preventing that idea will pollute your mind. You have a natural right to access that content, because that's why a liberal society gives so much importance to freedom, that you are a sovereign over your body, your mind.
Sir,
Yes.
link
Nandana.
വന്നു sir. English
Okay.
ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ലിങ്ക് വന്നു.
ഓക്കെ. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ അതിന് പോയിക്കോളൂ. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചോദിക്കാനുണ്ടോ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്?